3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running.
Whether you've been married 1 or 20 plus years, at some point, you realized you were married into crazy.
And that's what our podcast is all about. We offer love, laughter, and a dose of reality as we unpack this crazy thing called marriage.
So sit back, relax, and get your ear hustle on. It's time to start the conversation.
All right, let's go.
Welcome to episode 171 of the Married into Crazy podcast with Snooks and Lovey. I'm Lovey.
I am Snooks.
And hopefully my volume will actually work this time. I think she's been doing something, y'all, to make sure that my voice gets lower and lower and lower and lower. So that way there's like no talk back.
Well, if I could do that, I wouldn't just wait for the podcast. I would just wait for it. I do it all the time.
It's like that remote control. She'd be like Thanos. And
I was
just
about
snap
to
her
say,
fingers.
where's the Thanos cup?
And she'd be like, that's the volume control. It's the volume. What is it?
Oh, yeah. There's
Stone.
the
It's
volume stone.
Hey, we want to welcome each and every one of you back to the podcast.
I'm sorry. We need to create one of those paws or hands for marriage. The volume stone, the listening stone.
Oh, that's hilarious. You know what? We might even do that one day. That'd be fun. Well, as you can tell, I'm Lovey.
I'm Snooks.
And this is the Married into Crazy podcast.
Yes.
This is a podcast where you can come and just be a fly on the wall to a conversation that takes place between a married couple that is married almost 25 years.
And coming up.
Couple of weeks.
I was about to say a
2-3
couple of weeks. So this Thursday actually will be the 26th, our 26th anniversary.
The meetiversary.
The meetiversary.
Ah, yes.
When we met.
The meetiversary. You know, so that's when we actually met. It's not the meetiversary as in the X-rated version of it. It is the it is the meetiversary when we met.
Really?
So,
What's wrong with you? Is it the weather?
It's
Ugh.
the weather. I'm a
Lord.
little, it's got me off a little bit.
Oh my gosh.
But look, before we go any further, let me just ask you to do this. If you just laughed, if you thought that was funny,
Or you had to say a prayer.
or you had to say a prayer, one of the two, go over to Apple Podcasts and leave a review. Let us know why you laughed, what's funny, what you like about the podcast. But most importantly, we please ask that you leave a review and leave 5 stars.
Put 5 on it.
But it just takes a second. Really, it does. It only takes a couple of seconds. Go over, leave that review. And don't forget that you also need to go over to the marriedintocrazy.com website. Again, that's marriedintocrazy.com, and answer the question of the month. The question of the month is, if you could go anywhere without any restrictions for Christmas, where would you go in the world and why? So don't email us that answer, because you guys are emailing us, which we really like, but can't use that on the podcast because we have this
I
thing
hear your
where you can,
voices.
so you can record your voice on there and just give us your, less than 2 minutes. Let us know your answer.
Someone actually sent one in and was like, I know you said don't email, but I don't like how I sound, and I'm afraid you might use me. It's like, oh, come on. You don't have to say your name.
Makes it fun. Look, I can make you famous.
Oh, good Lord.
Look, hey, so just do that. Those 2 things, Apple Podcasts and over to marriedintocrazy.com. Go to the monthly question tab and leave your answer to the question.
Right.
We're really curious to see where everybody would love to go for Christmas and your reasoning behind it.
So one more thing before we really get into it. Make sure that if you're not part of our Iron Tribe, go to Facebook and join our Iron Tribe, the marriage community. We post some funny stuff in there. I think so. Lovey thinks he's funny. But
I always think I'm funny.
Yeah. Ridiculous. This is Sparta.
Oh, yeah. If you missed that was heck of fun.
It was gross to me.
If you don't know what we're talking about, go to our Instagram page and look up Married into Crazy, and you'll see a video that we put up. It was because I was the Lord of the Flies. I killed a fly, and there was some discussion about that fly.
Yeah.
And my methodology as to why I wanted to leave it where it was at. So go take a look. Now, speaking of Iron Tribe, if you're part of the Iron Tribe community, basically the Iron Tribe marriage community on Facebook, you were able to participate in an event that we had this previous weekend.
Can I be Vanna?
Okay, be Vanna.
Okay.
So for those of you that are watching on YouTube right now, you can see that our
vision board has been completed.
So what we did was we had a marriage vision board activity where, we talked about how we make vision boards for a variety of different reasons, for our health, for business, for our jobs, places we want to go, all these different things. But how many times have we done that for our marriage?
Yeah. And, it's funny because it makes it fun. A lot of times you think that you know what your partner wants to do, and they say, oh, I want to go here, I want to go there. But when you see them cutting out certain things, I'm like, what's that? Oh, I want to do this. I'm like, you never said that before. But, I mean, it's exposure. So you'll learn something new about you, possibly learn something new about your partner. So,
and that's
fun.
what it's all about, continuing to discover new things. Look, on January 4th, we will have been married 25 years. And even in this activity, we're learning things about each other because you're not the same person you were when you first got married. So I'm going to ask you a few questions. So I see behind me that there is a picture of a bunch of, what's this one? What's this one all about?
That's Maldives. So
we need to take that one down.
That's not going anywhere.
That one's weighing down everything else.
No, that's staying.
That's okay. Do you know what the one above it is?
That is Africa.
So yeah, and not just Africa. Like, oh, they're going to go stand in the Sahara Desert.
Okay, so this is it's like they build a luxury camp, and it looks gorgeous. I don't know where it's. I want to say it's in the Sahara. No, not the Sahara. What am I saying?
There was one in the Serengeti, and
I think that's where it was, the Serengeti.
Do you know what her first question was? Where's the bathroom?
Where is the bathroom? Because, I mean, you can't see it. Maybe you can see it, but it's luxurious. It looks really nice. It looks really beautiful. And I think they even have netting around the entrances and stuff. But I'm like, where do you use the bathroom at out there? So.
And there's this other one that's over, or is it over right here?
Right here?
Nope, right here. I'm pointing.
Oh, yeah.
This one right here, there's these cabins. Like, so I was looking for some place to go for our anniversary. Because here's the deal. We can't go anywhere because we were going to go to the Maldives originally. And then I was like, oh, let's go to Bali. It's a little bit closer. And because we're looking for this specific experience. But then somebody, I'm not going to mention any names, decided that she wanted to go back for her master's program, which kind of put a monkey wrench in going anywhere.
Do you want me to be
Do you
smart?
disagree?
Do you want me to be smart, or you want to travel? Think on that, Yoda. No, okay. So we were trying to figure out where we wanted to go. Lovey, like he said, he was leaning more towards Bali. I was leaning more towards the Maldives, and we actually kind of solidified that we were going to go to the Maldives. But this whole, I want to get my master's, that was just really pressing on me. And I was like, you know what? If I keep putting it off, I'm just going to keep kicking the can down the road. And then I'm going to get upset because I didn't do it. It's something I really, really wanted to do. And so we went ahead, we talked about it, and he was like, let's do it.
All right, let's do it. So we're all in. So as a result, I thought, okay, what can we do locally? So I was like, I want to check out some places. So I go online thinking, where's the most romantic places to go in California? And came across these beautiful locations. And then I saw, I know you're not supposed to look on the left side of the menu.
You saw the price.
Or you're not supposed to look on the right side of the menu. Let me put it that way. You're not supposed to look on the right side. And there is the romantic in me, and then there is the very
miser.
frugal.
The
I wouldn't
miser.
say miser. I say frugal.
Babe, you're a little bit misery.
Frugal.
You're a little misery.
There's some things I just can't justify.
He's a little misery.
And I just could not for the life of me like, I don't know.
Don't I deserve it?
You do.
Okay.
That and more.
I just want to make sure that it wasn't because you didn't think I deserved it.
I didn't pull the trigger on the place because I didn't, as you can tell in the picture, just kind of like the tent, I can't see the bathroom.
Not only that, I love my husband because he already know. I was looking when he showed it to me. I was like, okay, a tree house. So where's the bathroom? And he starts laughing. He's like, babe, I already know. I don't want to take you somewhere where I think it's a good idea. I'm all excited about it. And then you get there and you're scrunching your nose up. It's like, I don't do that. It's like,
Yes, she
yes, you do.
does. Yes, she does.
Not on purpose, but
She's got a frown on. I'm like, what's wrong? Nothing. I like it.
oh, no, I don't do that. That makes me sound ungrateful, babe.
Not ungrateful. You just snooks. I mean, you have a certain standard by what you want. You have to have full on. That's what we was like. You guys should go camping. Snooks is like, that's not happening.
No. Let me tell you something. I went camping before, and I didn't like it. It was not fun for me, and I don't want to do it again.
She's not
My
down with the open air boo boo.
my what?
Open air bathrooms do not do it for her. Community bathrooms do not do it for her.
Oh my God, no, they don't. But not even outside of that. So for me, sleeping in a tent on hard ground in the cold,
It could be a luxurious one. We could get like an RV.
babe. Camping for me is when we go to the hotels. That's camping. I consider it camping. That's camping for me.
What part of camping is when you get the people to come upstairs? Was that room service?
No, because actually we stopped doing room service, right? Unless we really need something.
True, because we like going out and having
Yeah,
an
we
experience.
can go out and do whatever. And plus, if I need new towels, that's really the only time I'm like, I need some towels, you know.
She's like,
So-
I do not like this camp. They don't have new towels. We could be out in the wilderness. Who do I call if I need
funny.
another face cloth?
No. So, and it's so funny because people
I'll
always
start calling
say,
you Jaja.
it's, stop that. People always say, oh, if you go with a whole bunch of people, it'll be fun and you'll like it. And okay, it will be fun until it's time to go to bed. And that's when I would have a problem because I still got to lay in a tent on the hard ground.
Not really, because they have air mattresses and they're comfortable.
It's not, no, it's still on the ground. No, and it's
See,
cold
y'all,
outside. And what if they're bears or coyotes or something like that? Animals, and then there's ants and bugs. What? Come on, man. Come on, babe.
So let me get my marker. Let me cross off Africa.
That's how I said they have nets. That's why I was looking. And on the ground, there's a big carpet.
Yeah. So what does that mean? Okay. So what is this thing right here? She has a
Which one?
flower with a bunch of words on it.
Oh, so for 2022, focus is friends, health, joy, flourish, purpose, and family. And I mean, that's not just our focus, but that's important to me. Health, joy, friends, flourishing, purpose, and of course, my family.
So go to the YouTube, take a look at it, and this is just an example of what we did.
Hold on.
And
Go to the YouTube.
go to the YouTube. Go to the. I'm old. Them kids be going to the YouTube, the Twitter. Hey, look. So go to YouTube, and you can see what we're talking about. But here's the thing: you can experience it yourself. We're gonna repost it. It's so funny that after the fact, there were so many people that missed, and now people are coming out of the woodworks. Like,
When's the next
when
one?
are you doing the next one? I want to do that. You should have told me. And I'm like,
We're
we've been
doing the
posting
next
it.
one,
But
December
we didn't post
2022.
like we should. So January 22nd, it's a Saturday. January 22nd at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, which would be 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we are going to do another vision board experience where we're going to encourage everyone to bring their vision boards, get some cardboard or some, people can do it on their laptop, however you want to do it. But get some magazines, get some scissors, get a bottle of wine, because we definitely have the wine flowing. Get some stuff together so we can sit there. And it's not just about, oh, it's arts and crafts. That's not what it's about. It's about setting a vision for 2022 and beyond.
Well, it's dreaming, you know.
Yeah.
Dreaming together is so important. And I think I feel like a lot of people forget about that because we're so busy with what's going on right now. And you know, when it's just like when we were kids, we were told you can be anything that you want to be, just put your mind to it. and then we get older, and then we're like, oh no, you got to put a cap on that, you got to put a cap on this, oh you can't do that, you got to be realistic, you
I
got to
know
be
I
blah
can't
blah, all
be
these
what I want to
different.
be.
Okay.
I was like, get my little Nas on.
I guess so. I feel you though, but no, seriously, we why do we do that? It's almost like we were set up to get our hearts broken in a sense, because don't start telling me that I could be whatever I want to be, and then when I start thinking, hey, I could do X, Y, and Z, or I could go, but oh, that's going to be too hard. You can't do that. There's all these reasons why you can't do it, why you can't become this or you can't become that. In theory, they're like, oh, well, yeah, if you really work hard at it. But even when you say, if you really work hard at it, it's kind of,
There's like some unbelief going on.
well, yeah, it's like, are you trying to tell me don't think too high? Don't,
Why is that? That is like such a killer. It's like, yeah, you're right though. It's like, oh, that's cute. You can do
it's
that.
cute.
But don't get your hopes dashed. Don't. I don't want you to get upset when it doesn't happen. It's like, who said it's not going to happen other than you?
But so kind of to our point about the vision board, it's kind of the same thing, what happened to our dreams? Where did they go? I'm like, where'd my dream go? How come I can't say I want to go to Africa, or I want to go to the Maldives, and I want to go to Santorini, wherever it is? Why is it that, well, be realistic, or oh, that's going to cost a lot of money, or no one is like, oh yeah, you should do that. That'd be cool. That'd be awesome.
And it changes. Think about it. 10 years ago, I don't know that Snooks and I ever even heard of Turks and Caicos.
You know what? I heard of Turks and Caicos, but I just heard of Turks and Caicos. I didn't know what it was about. I mean, as far as like, oh, this is Turks and Caicos. I never seen it before.
We went to Jamaica last year as a result of
This year, babe.
Was it this year?
It
Dang.
felt it was in June because we were there for your birthday.
That's right. I am tripping.
He
I
said
wasn't even
last
6
year.
months.
Yeah.
I wasn't even 6 months ago.
Yeah, seriously.
Dang. But it feels like last year. Good
Yeah,
Lord.
a lot's
This
happened.
pandemic is just jacking everything up. But look, if it wasn't for vision boarding and us casting a vision or a dream together, we would have never gone to Jamaica. We would have never gone to Italy.
I was about to say, now that for me was huge because I always felt like, Italy's on the other side of the world. And I had always wanted to go to see the Sistine Chapel, but I never thought that I would be able to go. I'm not going to go there. And you hear all these other people and they talk about the places that they traveled and the things that they've done. I'm like, wow, that must be really nice. It's like, oh, all we got to do is save our money, pay, get a passport, and we out. Okay,
See,
let's
girl?
do it.
See, girl, I told you. You stick with me. I'll show you the
Oh,
world.
Lord, you didn't tell me that.
I said, I'll make you famous.
I'm not famous yet.
No, but it's one of those things. But it was about vision casting. It was about us dreaming together, and that's what we want for all of you, to actually dream together. Because who says you can't? Look, your circumstances that are going on right now are your circumstances now.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing says they have to be your circumstances 5 years from now, a year from now. So much changes. Let's put it this way: we overestimate what we can do in a short period of time, and we underestimate what we can do in a longer period of time.
So I didn't know if you were going to go on, but it just makes me, so many things come to my mind when I think about that. As far as like our dreaming and people telling us what we can't have. So if you look at our vision board, a lot of it is travel because we want to travel. We
That's
want
our
to go
thing.
places. That's our thing. But someone's vision board might have a happy couple, or they might have children, or something like that. It doesn't have to be what you see here, like the traveling and stuff like that. Somebody might just be a picture of people holding hands because that's what they're wanting in their marriage.
It might be like a pilot's license. You both want to fly and get your license. It's unique to each and every one of you.
It's whatever you want it to be. Don't ever feel like you can't obtain something because other people say that you can't have it, or well, that's just a fairy tale, or that's not how it means, or that's not.
No, and exactly. Don't let somebody else's limitations define your existence.
Hmm. And there's one thing that we say too. We've said before: keep your eye on the vision, regardless of what the visual is.
Mm. Regardless of what the visual is. I mean, think about that. The way your situation looks right now might not be the greatest. I'm not saying it's bleak, but everybody has different situations. Look, there was a time where our visual was bleak. It was horrible. The way that what we saw on a daily basis in our relationship was really bad.
Yeah, it would have been two different houses on here because we wouldn't be living together.
It would have been two different vision boards.
Seriously,
And
that's true.
we honestly, if we would have based the vision for where we were going to go based on what we actually saw, the visual that we were receiving, we would have been stuck. We wouldn't be happy. There would be no Snooks and Lovey. There would be, none of us listening and talking to each other. There would be none of this. But beyond this, there would be, look, we wouldn't have had our third child.
Yeah, his twin wouldn't have been born.
There's so much that we cannot base our future on what we're going through right now. The future is unknown. Let it unfold based on your goals and your desires and your hard work, not somebody else's limitations. And look, this vision board is your vision board. We want you to put it together for you, not for anyone else. Mm-hmm. And if you don't want to put it up in a public place, for everybody to see, then don't. I'm actually going to say, I'm going to recommend not. Keep it private. It should be between you and your spouse. Now, if you want to show it, that's cool. That says something about your confidence level. But I will warn you right here, right now, that when other people have a tendency to look at your vision board and they're going to say, oh, why would you want to go there? Or what's up with that? Or I don't understand that. That don't make no sense. That's based on their limitations. That's based on their world. And you have to realize this, that God is putting this vision in you. It wasn't a conference call for all your friends and family and everybody else. They're not the ones being called to this particular vision that you and your spouse are putting together.
That's right.
It's for you two. And if you start, and what happens when you invite people on a conference call that aren't supposed to be on that conference call? They start talking about stuff that's not relevant, has no meaning, and detracts from what the conversation should be.
They start trying to give input about stuff they know nothing about.
Right. And so we want you to have this and create a legacy, not just for 2022, but for something further. Put crazy, outlandish stuff. If you can think of it, and if it's a desire in the moment, put it on the board. You can always remove something like, what the hell was I thinking? I don't know why I put skydiving. I ain't doing that. Take it off. But if there's something there that just, I don't know, it just tugs at you a little bit, put it on the board because you just never know what you're going to do. Turks and Caicos is on ours, and we're going there in 2023.
Yeah.
So we know we're going there in, 2 years, year and a half?
About a year and a half now, yeah.
And it's one of those things where we cast a vision. There's a lot of things that, like up on my board is also the Aurora Borealis. I am dying to see the Northern Lights. I'm going to see the Northern Lights. I just have to decide where I'm going to see them. Is it going to be in the northern part of Canada? We had a client that is seeing them right now. When we finished the course of our business relationship, she was still sending us, pictures and stuff because she knew that the Aurora Borealis is, my thing that I really want to check it out.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I want to go do one of those yurts, one of those luxury yurts where you're able to stay in there and just go to sleep and be able to sit there and see the Northern Lights.
Is that the teepee looking thing?
No, I'm not doing the teepee. It's like a glass luxury thing where you can actually.
Oh, I seen those.
And you can look at it. No, nobody can see in. I already know where your mind's going. How they gonna see us? And anyway, but it's your vision. See, that's my vision. It might not be 100% hers yet, but she's gonna get there.
No, well, of course, if it's your vision, the cool thing about doing the vision board together, it's like you both have buy-in, and so Lovey picked up something, or I picked up something, and we're like, oh, okay, that's interesting. But it wasn't like, you better not put that on the board. So by putting it on the board, his vision became my vision also. Um, we still working on me, but it's something that we're going to do together. I'm not gonna just. It's not gonna ever just be, well, that's your stuff. I ain't doing that, because we're doing it together. Even though it's gonna take me a little bit longer to get the nerve up to do it.
Yeah, so there's a variety of things. And that's what we really want to leave you guys with is that, A, get your calendars out, get your phone out, put January 22nd, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let's get together and cast visions for our marriages for 2022 and beyond. See, just because we're doing it on January 22nd doesn't mean like, oh, it's already 2022. It's too late. No, it's
Because
not.
there's still 11 more months.
Amen. There's a whole lot of time. And again, this is going beyond. Are we going to go to all these places? Are we going to do all the things that we want to do in this upcoming year? No, it's going to be done over time. And the vision will continue to grow. There was a point in our lives where the vision was to just make, X amount of dollars. And we've talked about this multiple times. I remember sitting on the edge of the bed and telling Snooks when I was going for a job interview, babe, if I get this job, I'm going to make this X amount of dollars and we're going to be all right. We're going to be set. And, everybody has a different vantage point. And at that particular point, I was looking at life through the lens of my parents, that I wanted to make a certain amount of money to be equivalent to or just a little bit more than what they made. And that was the promised land to me.
Mm-hmm.
And we've gone so much further than that. And I'm not going to say the number because, that might be somebody else's dream based on where they're at in life.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to belittle that and by any means, because at one point in my life, that was my dream.
Right.
And then I dreamed it, acquired it, and began to dream again, going from peak to peak. There's a movie out right now that I can't wait to watch on Netflix called 14 Peaks.
Oh, good Lord. That the mountain movie.
Yep.
Yeah, that looks intense.
But it's
very
about
intense.
getting to, I climbed to a particular peak, and then I was able to see that there's other mountains that I wanted to climb to. Mm. So I want to go to the next peak and to the next peak. And that's what this is all about. The vision board that you're going to build now, it's just one peak. And once you acquire that, then you're going to see like, oh, you know what? I can do this. I am worthy. I do deserve this. We can accomplish this together. There's nothing that can stop us. And then all of a sudden the world starts to open up to you like, oh, I never even heard of that place. Or I never heard about that thing. Or I never knew about this opportunity. I didn't even think about us doing this. I mean, coaching, podcasting, all this stuff is a result of exposure that we've gained by going from peak to peak. Each new peak that we've been able to step into or climb to, it changes our vision. It changes our visuals, because you get to a peak, you see the world differently than you've ever seen it before. And then you get to another peak and you're like, well, I didn't even know this was here. Wow. And I thought everything looked gravy on the last one. So every time you acquire a new peak, it opens up your experience. It opens up. And we want that for your marriage.
I was about to say, so many, I wonder how many people are at a plateau in their marriages, just thinking about when you said that, when you go to one peak, you see that there's other peaks, and some people, they feel like, oh, well, I've plateaued. This is as high as it's going to get. It's just good enough. And, well, no, there's another peak after good. There's great. There's phenomenal, and if you have that mindset of, hey, that's what I want. I want it to get to great. I want it to get to phenomenal. Don't just settle for the plateau or the peak of the good. And if you're at need improvement, okay, so let's peak it to good,
Amen.
There's just so many people who don't think that they can have more in their relationship, that they can be happier. Like you were saying, I remember in the beginning when I was so happy, I was so happy. Oh my goodness. And then when everything happened and, like the walls came crumbling down or basically or whatever, I never thought that I would feel the way that I feel now. I didn't see that at that point because of where we were in our relationship. Now, had we just stayed there, then, like Lovey said, we might still be Snooks and Lovey. We sure wouldn't be married into crazy
No.
as a whole. You know what I mean?
Right.
So don't ever just think that this is just it. This is just good enough. And then you looking at your partner or your spouse or whatever, and y'all watching TV, you staring at the TV, but then you look at each other, or you look at the one that's not looking at you, and you're just thinking like,
Is that
there's got
all?
to be right. There's got to be more to it than this. There has to be, and there is more, but you have to be willing to get out of that comfort zone and get off of that plateau and go find a peak.
It's funny because when you're talking about that analogy of, peak to peak, as we're talking about climbing mountains, when you're going through it, when you're climbing it and you're at the base of the mountain,
Oh my God.
it looks insurmountable. You're like, there's just no way.
Mm-hmm.
But you climb step after step. When you're in the hunt, or you're in the grind, or you're in the journey, it looks so hard. You can't see the peak. As a matter of fact, a lot of mountain climbers, when they're at the base of the mountain, they look up. All they see is what's in front of them, the next few steps or the next few, you know, terrain that they have to travail in order to get to that next level, whatever it is. They're going not focused on the peak. They're like, okay, they pick a spot. Like, that's where I want to go. I want to get there. And then when I get there, we'll set up a base camp. And then I want to get to the next spot. And it's all mapped out. Same thing when it comes to our marriages. And in your vision board might not be about climbing a peak. It might just be, okay, I'm going to pick a spot on this mountain, and I just want to get there. There's a whole lot of that.
Yeah. I, instead of us sitting on the edges of the couch, I just want us to get to the middle of the couch to sit together. You know, I just want to be able to hold hands and not be a theme like our kids say.
Hey, let's keep it real. It might be like, I want to get through a whole conversation and not get called out my name. Or be able to have an argument in a manner in which we can have a disagreement and I don't got to be, XYZ.
Well, or we can have a disagreement and we're going to be talking the next day. We won't go 2 weeks without speaking, or a week without speaking because someone's mad at me because they felt like I said the wrong thing, or they took it out of context, or I did say the wrong thing and they won't accept my apology, or
Relationship
unforgiven.
maturity is about, not letting today's argument affect tomorrow's communication. And there's all kinds of memes going around about stuff like that. But it's all about having a vision for your relationship, a vision for your marriage. And if you're having a difficult time saying, I just don't know, I just can't see it, that's okay. The fact that you desire to have that vision is the first step. And sometimes it takes events, getting together with other people and learning how to create a vision board. We're not going to get all preachy and stuff. We're going to laugh. We're going to joke. We're going to talk smack.
I can't come with my clergy collar on.
No clergy callers. No clergy callers. I want to hear no preaching.
That's so funny.
But it's going to be a lot of fun. So January 22nd, mark your calendars. We'd love to come together again and work with other individuals to help you build your vision. It's not that we're going to give recommendations, just to kind of
just get together.
Just get together and talk and start building it out. I'd love nothing more than, 3, 4, 5 years down the road, you're like, we're experiencing your dreams with you, maybe as a group, a bunch of us, like, we want to go to the Maldives. Let's get a group of us together to go to the Maldives and all that. And like, that was on Snooks and Lovey's board. And yeah, I put it on my board too. And like, okay, we're all going. Yeah. Imagine when you have a bunch of like-minded individuals that are down for their marriages, that are traveling the world, doing things, seeing things, lifting up their covenant. And it all started with a piece of cardboard, some glue or tape, and a vision.
So I just want to kind of come back to something that you said too about being able to having that desire to do something more. If you're finding that you're stuck or you're not knowing what the next step is, the first step is actually realizing that and seeing that you want to do something else. But the next step would be if you don't know where else to go, MIC. go to maritalcrazy.com, click on the coaching tab, and then click on the discovery call. Give us a call.
Give us a call. We'll have a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And, and we talk about marriages so often because that's our thing. But it takes two people to make a marriage. If you're single and you're like, I want to get some nuggets. I want the keys to the kingdom. So that way when I find my queen or when I find my king, that, I feel like I've got something to contribute. I've got some ideas. I've got a blueprint to where we want to build this. This is for you as well. I mean, your dream board might be about the qualities of the person that you're looking for, about the traits and the desires and the things that they love to do that you love to do and so forth, what you're really looking for. And there's nothing wrong with building your fairy tale.
Not at all.
Because the fairy tale it's worth it. There's a knight in shining armor. There's a princess waiting to be rescued.
Rescued?
I thought that hit me wrong too, right when I said it. I don't know if it's about being, because I immediately thought of that commercial.
She thought about us. Oh, the lady in the
Rapunzel.
Yeah, she was like, I'm
like,
good.
I'm not waiting on him. I'm gonna build my own empire.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. No, but it could be that person that you meet that, your sleeping beauty. Your soulmate. It's just whatever you want to call it. I mean, we need to break down some of these fairy tales because now I'm starting to think some of these things are misogynistic. But that's a whole other conversation. It's a whole other conversation. Hey, look, we're not going to go any further. We're going to keep this one short. We want to thank each and every one of you for actually hanging out with us. And let's build a vision together.
Yeah.
January 22nd.
2022.
In the meantime, make sure you go to maritalcrazy.com and answer the question of the month. We'd love to hear where you would like to go if there were no restrictions for Christmas and why. And you will hear your voice on an upcoming episode of the Married into Crazy podcast. But until the next time,
be blessed.
bye.
Bye-bye.